Right, so the focus of this lesson is solving equations that involve brackets at some point. And you always have more than one option to approach things, but I want to mention two common ways of approaching solving equations when you have brackets in them. And what you see here is the exact same equation two times. So as it says, I want to solve this in two different ways. One, if I just focus on this form. One thing that's perfectly valid is you could distribute whatever is in front of the brackets, whatever the coefficient in front of the brackets is. So I could distribute the 2. If I distribute the 2, I get 2 times 3a, which is 6a, and 2 times -1 is -2. So I can rewrite the left-hand side of this equation as 6a minus 2, and that equals 11. Once you write it like this, then it's quite familiar. I can add 2 to both sides, which means 6a must equal 13. And I can see my answer is not going to be a whole number because 13 is not part of the 6 times table, so divide both sides by 6. And so a equals 13 over 6, which again, I could leave it as a fraction as a mixed number, or I can just, if I do decimalize it, I get 2.16 repeating. If I leave it as a fraction, I get 2 1/6. These are both great. If you are going to decimalize it, try to be exact. Don't just say 2.16. And again, it's 2.16 repeating, or write as a fraction. That's it. I now know the answer, but I want to solve this another way without distributing the 2. And again, ideally, both make sense, and ideally, we can then just choose what we feel like is going to be easier for any particular equation. So here's the exact same question. Instead of distributing both sides by 2, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And if I look at the left-hand side, I have 3a minus 1 being multiplied by 2, and then being divided by 2. Well, those last two things I said are inverses of one another. They undo each other, they cancel each other out. And so I don't really need to worry about this times by 2 and divide by 2 because I can see they cancel each other out. So if I choose to divide both sides by 2, on the left-hand side, all I have left is 3a minus 1. On the right-hand side, I have 11 over 2, which is 5.5 or 5.5. Okay, so now I'll add 1 to both sides. And so that means I have 3a equals 6.5. And again, my last step is divide. This time I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And again, I could go to my calculator and go 6.5 divided by 3. But I already know what it's going to be because I've already worked out this question. But again, if you do that, you get 21.6 repeating. If you write it as a fraction, I'll just leave it like that. And so if I zoom out and look at both of these, which one was easier is a matter of opinion. If only one makes sense, then we're still developing our understanding of this. But if we really are becoming proficient with solving these sort of equations, we should be able to understand both these equally well and just decide the particulars of the question, which one how we want to approach it. So for this one equation, I'm going to solve it any way I wish. And so really my two options are I could divide both sides by -2.5, and that'll cancel out right away. Or I could distribute the -2.5. I'm going to distribute the -2.5. And so if I go -2.5 times 0.5, that's 1.25. So sorry, -1.25. So it's -1.25b. And then I got to distribute that again. I know it's going to be a positive value, 2.5. So it's just 2.5 times 1.8. And I get 4.5. On the left-hand side, I haven't done anything. All right, so now I'm 2 steps away from finding out the value of b. I'm going to subtract 4.5 from both sides, which gives me exactly -3 on the left-hand side and just -1.25b on the right-hand side. And so I'm so close. I know what -1.25 times b is. I don't know what just b is. So I'm going to divide both sides by -1.25. I know my answer is going to be positive because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And I get 2.4. And so, while I'm done, if I was to first divide both sides by -2.5, I should get the same answer in the end. The reason I chose to distribute is just because I could just see that 1.5 divided by -2.5 wouldn't be the most pleasant number. If I could see it was going to lead to a whole number, I'd probably do it. But again, it's not terrible either. It's really the same either way.